Showtime again. And we haven't forgotten about all of you that are online. We really have not. I know you took advantage of it to run to Mickey D's and get a sandwich, walk the dog, all that stuff. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You know the Gray Panthers? You've heard of the Gray Panthers? And Maggie Kuhn, picking up on what was said up here earlier, one of the things she said was that we who are old have nothing to lose. We have everything to gain by living dangerously. We can initiate change without jeopardizing our jobs or family. We can be the real risk takers. So we can do that change. But boomers, authentic boomers, you know who you are. Because you know what an authentic boomer is? An authentic boomer is one who videotaped, because those cameras were new, every single second of your child's lives and have never looked back at a single inch of it since. And also, remember when good rockin' meant a great dance floor and John Travolta and all that stuff? Now at our age, good rockin' means a good chair that can make it work. All right, welcome back to the afternoon again. I have a real privilege to introduce a woman you can't say no to. She had a wonderful company that said, you know, you need to come be on a panel. And I said, I don't know if I can be on a panel. I don't have anything to say. Yes, you do. You will be there. I looked at her husband, and he just sort of said, that's how she is, man, you know. And it was just wonderful. And since then, we have been on the Denver Aging Commission together. We have been to, two Aging in America conferences. We just did the second one, and then we're here. So we've been following each other around this aging thing for a while. Janine Vanderburg is the director of Changing the Narrative. In leading Changing the Narrative, it's the nation's leading effort to change the way people think, talk, and act about aging and ageism through evidence-based strategies, strategic communications, and innovative public campaigns. She founded its Age-Friendly Workplace Initiative to call attention to the business case for other workers and intergenerational teams. Janine chairs the Encore Network, a global coalition of leaders who champion the civic, social, and economic contributions of people age 50 plus. And as a 2020-2021 Encore Public Voices Fellow, she serves on the board of the Center for Workforce Inclusion Labs, which advances bold and innovative solutions to labor force challenges. And she's also, like I said, a former member of the Denver Commission on Aging. You're going to be in for a real learning and involved treat from my friend, Janine Vandenberg.
Thanks, Adam. Can I move around with this? I'm looking at the tech people because I'm not capable of standing behind a podium. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've heard from a lot of amazing people this morning, and we've got a lot of data and a lot of stories and a lot of ideas out there. But what's really important as we set this new stage for the future of aging in Colorado is that we hear from you. That we hear from all of you about what our vision is for the future of aging, for the Colorado Commission on Aging. So we're going to facilitate some exercises to really collect your thoughts, your ideas, and all of those will be distilled into a report that will go to the new Commission on Aging and give them insight into what we think the challenges and opportunities are. But before I do that, I want to say two things. So one, you heard Adam earlier talk about that anti-aging pill, right? And some of you raised your hand and some of you don't. There's a really easy way for all of us to live longer and healthier. And it's not about our diet, and it's not about the new anti-aging serum, and it's really not about pills. A big part of it, and this is something that all of us in this room can do something about for older Coloradans anywhere in the state, We can help people develop age-positive attitudes. So research by Dr. Becca Levy of the Yale School of Public Health show that if we think positively about our own aging, we have, on average, the likelihood of living 7.5 years longer, but also healthier, better physical and mental health, better memory, and reduced likelihood of developing dementia, even for those of us with the genetic marker for Alzheimer's. So if any of you have not yet been introduced to Dr. Becca Levy, just Google her. The name of her new book is called Breaking the Age Code. But for all of us to be able to spread the message that thinking, aging is not decline, deterioration, downhill. Aging can be this incredible time of growth and contribution, and that's something that we can do. People have asked me, what is changing the narrative about, and what is reframing aging about? And it's going to apply to this first question that we are going to ask you to address. Reframing is basically, and I heard this wonderful quote yesterday from Jason, who's the executive director at Silver Key, which is based in Colorado Springs. Was anybody at yesterday's conference? Okay, so you heard Jason say at the beginning, opportunity is a way of looking at the world. So I'd like to encourage all of us as we're answering these questions to look at the opportunities that those demographic changes that we heard about this morning present to Colorado. Instead of thinking simply, what services do older adults need? How can we think instead? When we look at challenges in our community, how can this growing population of older adults, with the wisdom, experience, and insight that we have, be of service to community? So that's a way, if you think about it, of reframing. So with that, I want to introduce the first question and let you know the way we're planning to do this. Question number 1 is, what are common challenges and opportunities around aging in Colorado, regardless of where in the state you live? Now, this is a really important question for me because I've lived in Denver for over 40 years, and now I live in the North Fork Valley of Colorado. And so I can see the two perspectives, but I also know that we have a lot in common, regardless of where in the state we live. So the way this is going to happen is this. This is an opportunity for you to talk with those at your table and come up with challenges and opportunities. You should have, can I come to your table? Every table should have Post-its on it, markers, and this large sheet of flip chart paper. What you're going to do is, if you are here in our physical room, and then I'll give the instruction if you're in our Zoom room, you can divide down that big yellow Post-it sheet, put challenges on one side, opportunities, and basically have a discussion at your table about what you think challenges and opportunities are. Write them down on a Post-it, one per Post-it. So one idea per Post-it, and then just go ahead and stick it on the giant Post-it. I'll let you know what we're going to do later. Thank you, Amber. One or as many challenges and as many opportunities as you want, but only one per Post-it, okay? What you're going to do, for those of us who are joining us by Zoom, you go to that sticky note on the left-hand side of the Jamboard, basically the same thing. You write down your ideas, put them on the Jamboard. Questions, anyone, about what we are asking you to do? You're going to have 15 minutes for question 1. Discuss at your table, write them down. If you need additional Post-its or flip charts because you have so many amazing ideas, just raise your hand and we'll come and bring you some more. If you are sitting at a table by yourself and you would like to join another conversation, just move over to the adjoining table. This is meant to be interactive discussion. Okay? Questions? On your mark, get set, go. You have 15 minutes.
sing and dance.
You look so cute. I've never seen you in this kind of like girly stuff.
I know.
You're always so like serious
I
looking.
got this in Ashland, Oregon, and I thought,
It's so cute.
yeah, and I thought,
Yeah,
but
yeah, you must be right. I am like so. I literally
unusual.
I went back upstairs. I put another layer on, and
Usually, well, yesterday it was freezing here. Today I'm fine. Okay. All right. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll. Then we'll have to come back here and look on the board to do the three from the outline. Like you showed, like a couple.
I was freaking.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Who knows?
Well, I was in California, but as soon as, losing my mom and this pancreatic cancer, I totally know what the themes are.
Like look at it from those streets.
Or no, it was when it comes yeah, because a lot of people
This is your 3-minute warning. We are almost at 15 minutes. I know you're having great conversations. You'll be able to continue, but if you want to get your final post-its and thoughts down, because then we're going to do a little bit of reporting. So please get those final notes out. Okay, let's put those pens down. And Karen and Andrea, and if I can ask people to stop your conversation for just a moment. You'll have an opportunity to chat again when we resume with our second question. But what Karen and Andrea are going to do is they're just going to report out on a few. They're collecting some of the Post-its. They're going to go ahead and put them on the wall, share some of the ideas that you've come up with collectively. Then what we're going to do is ask one representative from each table to basically take your big Post-it that is hopefully filled with small Post-its and paste them along that back wall. And that way, during break and everything, we can get a gallery walk going. You can see what other people's ideas are. And know this, that all of these ideas are being collected. They're going to be written up into a report so that to be delivered to the new Colorado Commission on Aging commissioners, whoever any of you may be. I hope a lot of people in this room have applied. All right, Karen.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want to get started?
Sure. Even though our stickies are not sticking
If I can ask people to halt
Yeah, okay.
just for a moment your conversation, let's hear what Karen's reporting out on. And again, you'll have a chance to resume.
All right, so we pulled up a couple of the different sheets off the tables, and we are going to have them all on the wall here eventually, and they will be, as Janine indicated, reported on the website and sent out to you. But for example, I'm looking at this one, opportunities, opportunity to volunteer, time to serve, wisdom, knowledge, supportive networks, diversity of experience, and want versus need. Free online, other opportunities, people to know their neighbors, opportunity where a person has a rooming house, so shared living arrangements. Host home concept, another opportunity, medication delivery to home. One more, community and stakeholder engagement, collaboration across sectors, collaborative funding, collaboration, technology, actually, as an opportunity. I'm going to just take a look at some of the challenges. Dispersed family members. Anybody here have a family member not living in this town you're currently living in? Raise your hand. Okay, big challenge, big issue. Skill sets for technology. Not everybody is fully adept at tech. Lack of transportation, fixed income, limited social interaction. As Peg pointed out at lunch, like for some, no social interaction. Other challenges, isolation and fragmentation, lack of parking in rural and urban areas, lack of ADA regulations, and actually there are so many on this one. Visitation for those who are homebound, funding. I was at one table and we said we could do so much more if in fact we had significantly more funding from the state. Kara, could you manage that one for us? Just a little, another 100 million would work. Lack of
we need a ground rule here. No personal pressure on funders in the room.
Kara, since you hand up the State Unit on Aging, please don't take this in any way as a personal. And Chad, you are the chair of the CCOA, co-chair. You can help Kara in this endeavor. Let's see what else here. Language barriers, language justice with aging programs and services, and age-related stigma and ageism. And I'm going to share with Andrea, who's going to offer off these boards.
Okay, so a sampling from what I think is predominantly the side of the room, but we may have mixed a little bit at this point. But just to give you a sense of some of the opportunities that we're seeing on some of the boards here, let's see, more time for volunteering, cited as an opportunity. Let's see. People understanding what the opportunities are, what's available. It sounds like that's maybe kind of an issue of getting information out and the ability to be proactive in making sure people know what resources are available. Cultural awareness, cited as an opportunity. Let's see. Caregiver technology, cited as an opportunity. Definitely something that I think in the era of COVID we've seen an increase there. Mobile clinics, cited as an opportunity. Care navigators are another. Passion around making Colorado a good place to age. Certainly a very important opportunity that we can harness. Okay, and then shifting to some of the challenges. Affordable and accessible housing, obviously a big issue for really all of Colorado. Let's see, homes not adopted for aging. Transportation. I know we're going to visit some of the virtual comments as well, and I know transportation is popping up in that group a lot as well. Again, transportation for medical appointments, recreation, particularly in rural areas. Loss of driving, again, so we can really kind of see transportation throughout. And if you'll bear with me for just a second as I cross the room and give you kind of a flavor of what we're seeing from the virtual rooms.
And thank you for everybody who weighed in virtually using Jamboard. Jamboard is one of my favorite new things. You can, Andrea, I think, yeah, they're right up.
Okay, my eyesight bad, or I need new glasses or something. I gotta get closer. Okay, let's see. Are these divided into challenges and opportunities? It looks like it's kind of all. Well, I'm guessing that support for caregivers maybe is a challenge. We've heard comments about no local family. We're seeing that appear here as well. Mental health access to treatment and supports, direct services in rural areas, transportation access, curb to curb. Seen a lot of transportation issues, transportation access and options outside of driving a car. Technology barriers, ageism, getting back at some of the themes that we talked about this morning, including self-directed. Let's see, co-living arrangements, so kind of getting back at the housing issue. And then avoiding scams, which is, obviously a problem that, really can impact a lot of older adults. So that kind of gives you a sense of what the flavor of what's been cited in the various rooms.
Great, thanks so much, and thanks for everybody participating in round one. Give yourselves a round of applause, right? I mean, because y'all... and please think of this not just as, okay, we wrote our sticky notes, but literally this is going to a report to inform the new commissioners, whoever they may be, whoever you may be, about these are priorities of people of the state of Colorado. So before I go into the next question, I want to take a point of personal privilege. I think some of you know, and I mentioned earlier, in late 2020, I moved to unincorporated Delta County, Colorado, basically between Hotchkiss and Paonia. And November 2020 was not a great time to move because we were still kind of in pandemic world, so you move to a new community, you don't have the opportunity to meet anyone. That summer, finally, we get out, a neighbor is having a party and invites the new people. And we go there, and so we're just chatting, I'm meeting new people, and someone comes up to me and says, "Oh, do you know about Next 50 initiative?" And I kind of break out laughing, and I say, actually, they fund our initiative, Changing the Narrative. What I learned there was really powerful. I heard from the local arts group about how Next 50 funding had been so instrumental in the work that they were able to do, and especially connecting people and telling stories of people who had been longtime residents during the pandemic. Heard from the North Fork Senior Connections, a number of organizations who were all like, Next 50 initiative has made a difference in our community. The reason I'm relating that story is this. I'm looking around today. When Jarrett was speaking, I recognized, we have a senior policy advisor on aging because Next 50 stepped in at the outset and said this is something important to invest in. I know that Next 50 has invested in all of your work. So I just want to call out, and Ben, you didn't know I was going to do this. I just whispered this to Chandra. Ben Moultrie, who was the inaugural chair of Next 50 Initiative, and Sandra Matthews, the head of programs. And if anybody else is here from Next 50, Stan, you can wave your hand or anything, but thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to question 2. Question 2 is this. Can we get this question 2 up on the Zoom screen? What we know will be instrumental in advancing the future of aging in Colorado is not just if thought leaders like people like you are in the room and the people who head organizations. My term for the rest of us who are not necessarily in the aging ecosystem is civilians, right? But it's the larger community. So the question, too, is how can we best promote community and stakeholder engagement in the new CCOA and in the development of aging policy? But I would like to kind of combine, because those terms, community and stakeholder, because to me, community are the stakeholders, right, in the future of aging. The one thing that each one of us has in common today in this room is today for each one of us, it's the oldest we've ever been. Think about this before you go to sleep tonight. Wow, this is the youngest I'll ever be. We are all headed in that direction. Every Coloradan, like everyone everywhere, is headed in that direction. So we all ought to be engaged in the future of aging. It shouldn't just be a handful of people. So this question is really, what are the things that we can do to engage, regardless of what community we're with, what organization we're with? What are some of the things that we can do to make sure that all community is really engaged in this really important endeavor, advancing the future of aging in Colorado? So the instructions are the same. Grab a Post-it, grab a big yellow Post-it. If you need another one, we have more available. Write down your ideas. And here's also an opportunity. If you've already talked enough with the people at your table and you're kind of sick of them, no. You can, let me reframe that. If you want to meet someone new, you could just, maybe join another or adjoining table or that kind of thing. The instruction is the same. You might join a different breakout room if you're on Zoom. You've got 15 minutes. So converse, get your ideas out. What we're talking about is how do we get all community, not just a handful of people, involved in moving forward the future of aging in Colorado.
difficult. No, they've got to go to the.
You want to get one more question?
No, we're not doing all three. I think we're just
Oh, what?
we're only doing two. We're gonna be done early.
Okay, everyone, this is your 3-minute warning, but we've got a bit of a different instruction now. If you are done and all of your brilliant ideas are already on the big Post-it, feel free to go ahead and start pasting them. Send someone from your wall. I need a break. Send someone from your table to go ahead and paste it on the wall there. That wall over there is open, and on the side wall. So you can go ahead and start doing that, and then we will formally declare this over in a few minutes. Karen and Andrea will read out a few. Love seeing all those ideas. What's that? I do.
I have wanted to get in touch with you, so this is just,
This is my email address. This is not the website of Changing the Narrative, but this is my email address. So it's the best
so the email, I crossed out the website.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and put those pens down now. Let's go ahead and put those pens down. If you've got some additional, go ahead and put them on the wall. Here's why this is really important. Here's why this is really important. Some of you may be familiar with civil rights leader Grace Lee Boggs, who once famously said, "We are the leaders we are waiting for. It's not somebody else. Cavalry isn't coming to the rescue. It's us. It's us. We are the leaders we are waiting for." And if we want to create that change to have a powerful future of aging in Colorado, it's going to be not only up to us in this room, but also those of us we can engage. So with that, let me turn my virtual mic over to my friend Karen Brown. You want to shout out some of our ideas for engagement?
Sure. I think there's some really fascinating ideas here, really creative thinking this afternoon. One of them actually says open office hours with the new CCOA members. Wouldn't that be cool if once a month every CCOA member had this open forum in their community to provide information about what's going on to further inform the commission? They definitely suggested open input sessions of the CCOA meetings, engage more elected officials. I don't know if Rep. Young and Rep. Bradfield are still here, but they are always troopers and at our events, but we really need to connect with and engage other legislators. I thought this is a really interesting one, older adult simulation of navigating the long-term support services infrastructure. Wouldn't that be interesting? That's John Emerson. This is a tech idea for us. We should be doing this kind of an app. Promoting TV, marketing, high success stories, future planning. This was another really interesting one too. It talks about actually having the CCOA do focus groups, engaging older adults, inviting them, providing maybe a bus pass, lunch, whatever. talking to older adults at group churches, having a feedback form. I don't know, Kara, if you actually have a feedback form on the CCOA website that just says, is there an issue or a challenge or a problem you feel is critical for the CCOA to be thinking about? And there's definite support for really, please be sure to engage the rural communities. Go out into the rural communities. I know that the CCOA has in the past actually been held meetings across the state. And I know that the Strategic Action Planning Group on Aging, certainly in 2016, did that. And in 2020, we did virtual meetings as well. And Andrea.
Okay, as I'm taking a look over here, I'm seeing some common themes starting to emerge. Let's see. One of the ideas that I saw somewhere on here was, and I've lost it, but, here it is. Open door meetings at all times for the whole state. So maybe kind of similar to that office hours suggestion that was made by another table. Another suggestion to start the conversation with youth so they plan better. A suggestion to create a Colorado StoryCorps like NPR. A suggestion for listening sessions, a strategy that's definitely been employed before, but something that could be really useful going forward. Media promotion, engage in different places, find ways to connect with networks that allow access to underserved or close-knit communities. Yeah, this one's upside down. Let's see. Let's see, representation. Boards should represent the people they serve. And let's see, checks and balances. I've seen a couple of comments about accountability, building out an accountability system. So that kind of gives you a flavor of some of the table discussions here. And then to turn quickly to the virtual discussion. Oh, I see a call for each one of us to engage fully, kind of similar to the comment Janine just made, that, it's up to us. Use younger caregivers, families to help relay information. Make use of AARP, age-friendly community initiatives already occurring throughout the state. Partner with them to hold focus groups. Another suggestion to work to connect younger, I'm sorry, I'm misinterpreting that a little bit. Work to connect younger old with aging issues. So maybe a little bit of commonality from one of the previous comments. And increase cooperation of partner agencies, which I think will kind of pick up on a theme for one of our upcoming discussions. So anyway, that gives you a sense of the virtual discussion.
Andrea and all of you, thanks so much. So I'm going to make a concluding remark, and then we're going to combine. You get to see all the great ideas you've come up with, along with getting your steps in before we hear from our next speaker on Zoom. This is the opportunity. If you were at my house, I would let my cat out and say, yes, you can come tromp over my computer now without everybody seeing you. Because I was facilitating this, I didn't have an opportunity to weigh in, so there's just one idea that I want to make sure that I'll go and put a Post-it on every sheet on this. How many of you ever watched Mad Men? Anyone here? So I don't know if you remember that scene in Mad Men where a group of guys sit around and they try to think what women want, right? There are no women at the table. My advice to all of us is let's make sure when we are designing programs we're not designing we're designing with older people in our communities. And I like to borrow this phrase from the disability rights movement, nothing about us without us. So we need to make sure, all of us, and this is something that all of us can help ensure, let's make sure that the people around the table are representative of our communities, racial, ethnically, gender certainly, geographically, but also age. So with that, we are going to conclude. Thank you so much for going ahead and playing along with us. This, before I started changing the narrative, this is what I used to do all the time, be in rooms with smart people and have them put all their best ideas on Post-its, and I've really, really missed doing this. So Karen Brown, thank you for asking me to do this. So what you get to do now, we have a break until 2 o'clock, is that right? Until 2 o'clock, and you can go ahead and look around. Look at what's up on the screen, do a gallery walk, see all of the ideas that all of you have come together, and know that these will be together in a report that will be delivered to the new commission. Thank you all so much.